Hello there. I don't usually do that, but I just scrapped like an hour long monologue because I kept saying stupid shit about this guy selling this boat. Okay, I found out an interesting piece of information, which it turns out I've been avoiding the war vet guy for obvious reasons. Um, Smoking, stress, threats of violence, general madness, etc. But I had my aide worker over here, so I had the one window propped open, and he was in front of a window that had a blind, and she was sitting like on the side of the porch, like concrete, talking to me through the window. So, he's lonely and horny in on the conversation because he hasn't had me to talk to for a couple of weeks. So, I find out from him that my foster brother, the dude that caused me to buy the boat 10 years ago. I've never been out on the boat, but I had, like I said, all those dreams of rekindling fond childhood memories of us having fun together and sort of trying to salvage a piece of my life and happiness through that manner and having it fall through uh, into the bottom past Hades into Tartarus. Um, the guy is actually claiming, the war vet is actually claiming that my foster brother is offering him $300 to buy a boat that he's had possession of for 10 years. And it's my boat because I paid for it, but it was like me and him were supposed to go out on it, like I said before, and I didn't want Social Security to know that I'm making a major purchase. So I was like, look, dude, you're the guy that can drive and stuff. Like, you go to the notary, just put it in your name. It's going to have to be in your garage because I don't have a garage. So it all seemed to make sense 10 years ago. This is even before I moved to Maslin. This was when I was living in North Canton that I bought this boat. So we're talking 10 years ago. But anyways, the point is, the guy is paying the war vet $300 for a boat that he had in his garage for 10 years, that he had in his possession for 10 years. He had in his garage for about 6 to 7 years, and then he left it outside without the drain plug pulled, so it would be a mosquito factory and get ruined for, you know, 4 years or whatever. But anyways, he's buying the boat back, so I'm like, what? And the war vet being the war vet, he said he's going to give me the money next Wednesday. But I told him every day that he's late, I'm going to charge him $5 extra. And I'm like, just take the $300, man. It's free money. Why are you being, I'm thinking this shit. It doesn't pay to reason with crazy people. So I'm like, if you're actually going to get $300 thrown in your pocket just because I want to get rid of a boat and I give it to you, take the fucking money. Why are you breaking the guy's balls on top of it? Just take the fucking money, you know. But uh, I can't understand it from my foster brother's point of view. It's like, does he really believe that the boat's not that messed up and that it's worth $300? Because he put like mm, almost nothing into the boat. He bought some boat cushion or boat seats for it and a couple of oars. That's all he bought for the fucking boat. Nothing else. I bought everything else. I bought the boat. I got the boat on the water. I got the necessary tags. Paid for the license plates. Paid for this weird little part that it needed, and it was my money. So I'm thinking, is my foster brother actually gonna add insult to injury and fix the boat up as best as possible and try to make a couple $100 profit on it to put in his own pocket. In other words, to fuck me out of a huge part of my life and happiness and break tons of promises. And I've never been out on the boat once, and then buy it back and then make a profit off of it. Okay. Or could it be possible that he's gonna buy it for $300, sell it, say, for $600, and then give me the $600 to try to make up with me? Now, I don't believe that for a damn second. Because this guy, he's got lobster claws when it comes to money. You know, he don't part with a dollar. Like I said, it got to the point where I was like, you know, anytime anything would come up, he would say, I ain't got no money. You know, and what he meant was, I don't have no money for you. So after a while, I said, that's going to be your new nickname. He's like, what? I said, that's going to be your new nickname. I ain't got no money. Because every time I talk to you, that's what you say. I ain't got no money. And a lot of times, it'll be like stuff that I'm like, look, I will pay for it. But, you know, so the idea of him trying to make up with me somehow, because he knows I'm pissed as fuck that. Everybody in that house knows that I am pissed as fuck at them. Because I have not had any contact with any people in there for like ever. And I blocked one guy's number that lives there on the phone. And the last text I had with my foster brother, I read to you, and it wasn't pleasant. And yeah, so I'm thinking he never signed the title over. He knows, though. He thought he was giving the title to me, but I gave it to the war vet, so the war vet's got the title. So, but it's not signed over to anybody. It's still just in his name. So I'm thinking like he is actually gonna do that. It's like, yeah, this son of a bitch is actually gonna take a boat that he broke a billion promises with me over, and that like I had hopes of us being friends and rekindling childhood memories, and we both liked to fish, and you know the whole story of how I wanted him to get my brother out of the house when he was taking care of my mom. My brother was taking care of my mom with dementia and all that stuff, and he took him out one time, and it cost me $300 to get that boat on the water so he could take my brother out one time, and he abandoned both me, my brother, and my mom. But I already told all those stories. But is he that fucking far gone, or is he actually going to like try to fix the boat and try to make friends with me again? Is he gonna try, you know how he filed to sail by not pulling the drain plug and then opening the canvas, and there was, you know, mosquito larvae and whatever swimming in a foot of brackish water in the boat. And the guy's like, I'm not paying $900 for this boat, so he cost me $900. It's $1,000 was the price of the boat, but I was going to give $100 to him for a commission. And is he going to try to do that? You know, like make it up to me somehow? Like I might burn the money in front of him. I might just pull out a lighter and just burn the fucking money in front of him, man. And see what he does. If he reaches for it, I'll punch him in his fucking face. I mean, it might be like that. I mean, because it's just too late. I mean, uh, that's 10 years and 5 cardioversions of my life. You know, it's like I'm not the same person I was 10 years ago. I have a window that's like got heavy pane glass, and it's super heavy. And my niece used to keep her weed here, and And then I would get free weed. This was a long time ago, you know, when much, I was very physically powerful. And I demonstrated that once by picking up that window from a sitting position with just two fingers and letting the cat in. And it freaked my niece out because she was like, holy shit. And I'm like, holy shit, what? And she goes, man, that is some sort of prodigious feat of strength you just did. I'm like, what? And she said, the other day, I forgot, I gave her a key. And I was like, I forgot my key. And I wanted to come in here and get some weed. So I broke in through that window. Because that's when, before Gerald bought the building and turned it into a slum, I used to like just keep, when I used to be careless about keeping things unlocked and whatever. And I would leave that window with a little board in there propped open so the cat could come in and out as he pleased. Just leave it like that all night. But she had to like lift up the window and like somehow scuttle through there and keep it from crushing her and whatnot. And so she knew how heavy it was. But anyways, not sure what that had to do with anything because I'm easily distracted by um, these water noises. And anyways, you know, what's happened to me since I've been living here, you're not going to make that up to me. Okay? The way you've behaved. And it's like, it's funny, like I would tell stories about him to my cop friend when we'd go on fishing trips or to other people, and they would always start out okay, and they would end up with him fucking me over some way. You know, fucking me over money wise. One time he just like sprung a girlfriend like on a fishing trip vacation we had planned in Florida, and ended up fishing for a different kind of tuna while we were down there, and we only went fishing together once in 8 days, and that's all we talked about is like how much fishing we were going to do. And he was going to show me this pier where he saw a manatee pop up, and he hooked a ladyfish and all this stuff, you know, that never ever happened because he was besotted with this 4'7" crazy girl. And I actually had to sit there in my room and listen to him fuck once. Not fun. And you know, a lot of stories like that were like, oh, we went on this one trip and like, it was like this and then it was like this, and then oh yeah, this is the part where he fucks me over. So, but anyways, um, let's skip all that for now and get to the part where I went to my doctor's visit. Because I went to my doctor's visit, and that was the first time I was out of the house since I was cardioverted, and I think it was on the 26th, and I got out of the hospital on the 16th. I was cardioverted on the 13th. So, you know, nervous, plenty nervous. My pulse was 88, which was good. I took a Valium and I took a blood pressure pill. My blood pressure was 110 over something, so my blood pressure was good. I said my blood pressure was kind of high the last time I was in here, and this shows you how good of a doctor is. You know, he didn't even mention the fact that it was 185 the last time I was in there. You know, I was in there on the 9th, and then I went into AFib on the 12th, and yeah. Uh, so you didn't even mention that for some reason. Um, so, anyways, that went okay. Uh, he was like, I don't know if he was wanting more thank yous for the scooter or whatever, but that was a really good plan I had about going in shorts and walking in front of him because that lit a fire under his ass, seeing me walk and seeing my legs and shit. And then he finally uh, got finally it said, I went in on the 9th for that appointment. And on the 12th, the day that I had AFib, was the day that he finally faxed in his signature for approval for the scooter. And then the company notified me on the 18th, which was 2 days after I was home from the hospital from my AFib. So, um, I don't think that's a coincidence. That was a good play, and I had just, hey, look at, just look. Then I actually did point. I said, you see all that bruising and all those dents and stuff on my legs? I was like, that's from the last 6 months. I've been falling down a lot. I didn't get, you don't want to get confrontational, so I didn't say, it would have been nice to have a scooter during that time. Um, but that worked. But I haven't heard from the company yet. The company called me on the 18th. It is now the 28th, 10 days later. They said they would call me when they got the scooter shipped to them. But I think they used the word shipped or whatever. But they said they would call me and then they would set up a day and then they would have technicians set it up for me and whatnot. So, another thing to talk about is I have not heard from Omni Orthopedics. Um, I faxed in, I believe I said that I had my aid worker fax in a consent form for all my medical records, and I got a call from the company, and this person said, "Well, we faxed in your records, but they said, why are you faxing us this guy's records? He's not a patient of ours." And I'm like, if I was a patient of yours already, you would already have all these records. That's why I'm faxing you the records, is because I am a new patient. And she said, well, I'll fax them again and see what they say. So I don't know who I got a call, or if I got a call Tri County again. I don't know who the fuck. I don't know. Things don't seem to be working out there. I haven't heard from them. I asked my doctor for a referral uh, on the 9th. It's the 28th. So nothing's getting done about the knee that's causing most of my grief as far as walking. Uh, Still, nothing's getting done. Now, as I think I've already said this, if the Omni thing doesn't work out for the knee, like that's my last option as far as what my insurance, the last people that will take my insurance in the area. Um, I have to attack it from a CRPS angle and get referred to a Cleveland clinic for somebody who deals with CRPS and attack it from that angle. I don't think this is CRPS in my knee. I think it might be something else. I don't know. Maybe it's some kind of weird cyst or a blood clot or something. It could be something else, but I really don't think it's CRPS. Maybe you should look at some of these tests and stuff. You know, but yeah. I'm doing better as far as anxiety. I mean, when you got stuff like this going on, it's just like really, really frustrating. You know, you're dealing with maniacs, you're dealing with self-centered people, you're dealing with people that don't really care about you but pretend to care about you, and you're dealing with physical problems, and you're dealing with medical bureaucracy, and you got all this stuff pressing down on you. Sometimes you wake up in the morning and yeah, this is why I don't keep a gun in the house, but I do keep volume in the house, and I will take two volumes sometimes because I will wake up and I will just be overwhelmed. Okay, I'm like, this is too much stuff. And then I got a looming major teeth issue going on, which, that in itself will drive people to medications of a sedation type nature. Or, but man, I got problems upon problems. So, but I've been doing better with that. I think today, I think I took one volume. I slept in the afternoon for some bizarre reason. I don't, not, not exactly sure why. It's why I'm awake and it's 12:43 in the morning. Uh, Sunday, the 29th year of our Lord, 2019. Um, what else is going on? Uh, yeah, I had a thing with my brother that, yeah, my brother, he is something else. Um, but he's the guy I bought the fishing rod for, and they go for the salmon run in the Niagara River in October. They take a few trips up there. Him and my cop buddy and I used to go, and there's a couple places you can go, but they just usually fish off the New York Authority fishing platform, which I actually posted a link to a cool underwater video. I'm like, those are all the rocks that I've been snagging all these years. I think I see my hooks, you know, and it's like it's funny to it's like to see where you've been fishing for years. It's like there was a guy down there with scuba gear, like looking underneath the platform and stuff. I'm like, that's where I've been trying to catch fish for years. But anyways, so I bought him that $100 fishing rod that I got for $50. I lucked out, disreputable company, but he's like, it's got that new rod smell. And I was like, good, you got a new one. Because it's supposed to be like new other, like open box. And then the company's all over the place. It's like, if you return, if not satisfied in one part of the ad, and then if you click on something else, it says no returns accepted. And then it says like most of our items are new and undamaged. The ads all over the place. There's like 25 negatives in the last year on them. It's obviously a resale type of company, but he lucked out, so he gets $100 fishing rod off me, and for that I paid $50 for. That's $100, not counting the tax. I give him my net, which is an interesting net, but that's like probably $50, so that's $150. I give him 20 of those Meals on Wheels frozen dinners. It's another $60, so that's over $200 worth of stuff. So I'm talking to him, and or he called me actually, and he's like, "Yeah, I tried out that fishing rod. That fishing rod, we didn't catch any fish, but um, I won't say the guy's name, but the cop guy was real impressed with it, man. He said that thing's get up to 100-pound fish, and it's sensitive at the same time. He really liked it, and he said it's got one little like darker mark, or he called it a blemish, I think, on the cork handle, and he said other than that, it's perfect. And I was like, oh, that's good, you know. And then I just wanted to ask him about the net because it's a weird kind of a net. It's like you can actually fit a Chinook salmon in it, like a 35 pound Chinook salmon in it, but it's not very wide. You just have to get their head in there, and it's got like a deep pouch in it. So you can actually use it for like bass or pike or smaller fish than the big 30, 40. And the biggest one I ever saw in person was 70 pound. I saw a 70-pound Chinook salmon. Um, King salmon, they call them. You can actually just tie a knot in the bottom of the net. You know, you don't need all that big belly in there, but you do if you got a freaking 40-pound fish in there. But it's like, it also like folds up compact. It's very compact. And, I was just wanting to ask him what he thought of the net because I know that he hasn't seen it. And he starts opening his mail. He's like, God damn it. And he's like not listening to what I'm talking about. And I'm talking actually not even talking about the net. I'm just talking about something serious stuff going on in my life. And I'm like, what? And he's like, oh, I opened this shirt. I paid $10 for this shirt. It's not the shirt I wanted. And then he opens up his other piece of mail, and it's like he's like, He sent me the wrong goddamn salmon eggs. He's like, these aren't even the, and I'm like, well, how much did they cost? He's like, it cost $6.53. And I was like, dude, just let it go. I mean, you just got a $100 fishing rod. You got $60 in food. You got a net that's worth $50. Um, and you know, why are you fussing? He's compulsive. You can't help it. And then he's wanting me to coach him on how to combat this horrible crime of somebody ripping him off for $7. It's like, it's not worth my time or effort to fuck with $7. It's like, just throw this shit out. Give the person a negative feedback if you bought it on eBay, and buy new shit. And he wants to like go through this whole process, and he was like, oh, well, how do I do this? And I said, well, you just got to contact the seller. And he wanted me to walk me through the process like I was some kind of, I felt like I should adopt an Indian accent. Sir, how may I help you? As a tech guy. I mean, it's horrible, to try to describe shit like that over the phone to somebody. And I'm like, dude, do you want to open your mail or do you want to talk to me? What do you want to do? Do you want to deal with this now or do you want to talk to me? You can't do both. And he says, I think I want to deal with this now. You know, so I don't really know what he thought of the net that I gave him. But I mean, that is an obsessive, compulsive type of person that would do that. Because I bought like I always wanted an automatic card shuffler, and I bought one for like $12, and I got ripped off, same as him. I threw it in the garbage. Did, I didn't even bother like leaving negative feedback. I mean, like, do you really want to like waste your life over like peddling amounts of money? I mean, I know you're not that poor. I mean, you just got over $200 worth of free shit. Uh, uh, some of it fishing related. You got $150 worth of fishing related shit. And now you're like $6.53 because somebody sent you the wrong eggs. You're gonna have a vendetta or about it or something. Just buy new shit, throw it out, give them a negative. I already said that. Oh, it's like, man, I feel sorry for him. But at the same time, wring his freaking neck. It's like I'm trying to talk about serious, stuff like my heart, like the boat, the matter of the boat thing. Like, I mentioned, um, well, I don't know if I can tell that on here. Ooh, that's a tough call. But uh, it involved the war vet doing something heinous, very heinous and evil. And I'm like, did you hear what I said? He goes, yeah. There's nothing to say to it. Yeah, okay. I might as well go ahead and say it. He said it. I'll go ahead. I mean, he spouts my business all over the place to everybody. He actually talked to the landlord about, like, what's this with you and Steve? Why do you have beef? And was getting in my business. So what the fuck? He set his girlfriend's hair on fire while she was sleeping in the bed beside him. And then decided to put it out. And he was like, she was really nice to me. She could have got me for attempted murder. She could have brought me up on charges for that. He burned off part of her hair. You know, and that's why like my niece come over today and threw a piece of work his way, and I'm like, listen, I don't feel too comfortable like talking about some of the stuff that I've seen, some of the stuff that I've heard about this guy, but you don't want to get too involved with this guy because you know I wouldn't feel right talking about that stuff to you, and at the same time I wouldn't feel right if I didn't warn you about him. He's evil, period. Okay? He told me himself that, I only used 30%, but yeah, I punched her in the eye and I gave her a black eye. I think he was talking about punching his pregnant girlfriend in the eye. And, this is a bad person. Okay, I didn't know the guy before he started living here. I just felt sorry for him. And then, he's like divulging all this stuff. Like, I'm not asking him. I'm like, hey, you ever set anybody's hair on fire when they were asleep? Do you ever, abuse women and punch them in the face? And his girlfriend also, when he was in jail, she just volunteered that information that, oh, he beats me sometimes. And I said, you should never let anybody mistreat you like that. You know, standard, easy answer. But I guess she's broke up with him now. She was like 8 months pregnant with his child. But fuck him, man. He spouts my business all over the place. I'll spout his business all over the place. And I could tell you some more things. Like, for instance, um, I really wasn't, the arsonist. I was just in the car. I did not know that those guys were going to throw a Molotov cocktail through this guy's window and burn his house down. I just happened to be there. That kind of shit. And there's other things too, you know. So, um, but fuck him. And if he knocks on my door, and I already told my cousin this, and a lot of people think that when you say shit, you're just saying shit. But I got a hatchet by my door. If he knocks on my door, and I say, who's knocking on my door, and I hear his voice, I'm opening it with a fucking hatchet in my hand. Because I made myself pretty goddamn clear. Don't knock on my fucking door. When I'm ready to talk to you, I will come outside and I will talk to you. The day that I threw the 20 out there, and I said, this is for the beer cans in the back, which he didn't pick up, by the way. So, I'm answering the door with a fucking hatchet in my hand. And you could take that to the fucking bank if he knocks on my door. Now, speaking of the $20 I threw at him for the cans in the back, I guess they're still back there because in pure, like, so you almost died, who gives a fuck, it's all about me fashion, the guy in the wheelchair, Roy, that's his view, is of the backyard. So he looks out there and he sees all those cans, beer cans, that the guy throws out the window in the back. So it irritates him. So he's bothering me about it. He's like, if you see Chris, can you tell him to pick up those damn cans in the backyard? And there was some other stuff to it. And then he was like, if you don't feel comfortable doing it, just tell him to talk to me. Or I want to talk to him. And it's like, uh, petty bullshit. Okay, just almost died. Trying to keep my heart in rhythm. Trying to keep alive. Can't, got a bad disease. Why you bothering me with this bullshit? Complain to Gerald about it. See what that gets you. Complain to the landlord. Go out and wheel your fucking ass out there and tell him your own goddamn self. You know? And like I was telling the aid worker goes upstairs. Or no, he's outside and he's like lonely. So he's horning in on my conversation with the aid worker, which I already had all my business conducted with her. I'm just doing her a favor by talking to her and letting her clock in another hour because they have machines where they clock in and clock out. So it gives her another hour's wages. So, but he's horning in on the conversation horribly. You know, he goes upstairs briefly to take a leak, and I'm like, you know what? Since I've been home from the hospital, he hasn't asked me how I felt, how I've been, how my heart's been doing, how I've been getting by, or if I needed any help or anything like that. The first thing he said to me is, can you do me a favor? It's all about him. And, then he come back downstairs immediately. And then he offers her a chair. And then we start playing a game of cue cards where I write down gender bias. Hold it up, because she can only see through that window. He can. He's in a window that's got the blind down. And she shakes her head. And then he's going on and on. And I'm like making like these kind of faces. Like, and then like he's talking about like, yeah, I found some cocaine in somebody's car the other day. And he's like, I almost did it, but I don't do that kind of stuff like that. And then I wrote down on a piece of paper, told me 6 months in rehab for cocaine. Held it up. That's how he knew the smell. That's how he knows these people up here are crackheads, because he knows the smell. And and then like he kept talking, and I just wrote down "lonely" on a piece of paper and just held it up for her. You know, and that was the last time I was going to see her before she's going to get back surgery on the 8th. You know, and she's going to be out of commission for 8 to 12 weeks. And I'm not going to see her. And yeah, her life's a fucking mess. Man, her life is a fucking mess, man. I mean, she's dealing with like like a war vet type dude. But he's a kid, and like sounds like good serial killer material to me from her description of him. But it's not her kid. It's her boyfriend's kid. And it's like a whole big fucking thing. And that's why I said, like, you got a complicated life. She goes, not really. Like I said in another video, and I was like, well, let's just say that you got a lot of complicated stuff going on around you. And she's like, oh, I'll accept that. Um, but anyways, yeah, I can't really think of anything else to talk about. Like I said, I talked an hour, and I kept saying stupid shit. That it wasn't. I don't mind saying stupid shit. That's kind of my job. But it was about like the boat thing, and it didn't make any sense. You know, it's like, because according to what my foster brother said, the war vet guy is going to get the money. So whatever, he's going to get the boat back. The title is still in his name anyway. He kept it that way, probably on purpose. Who knows? Who gives a fuck at this point? Um, but what I wonder about is, first of all, I'm hearing dripping in the ceiling, which is one of my great paranoias. And I worry about, the pipes, people overflowing shit. You've seen my ceiling before, probably. Um, but yeah, that's totally distracting to me, because as a first floor tenant, I won't have to deal with that. If I was in a housing project, if I lived in the PJs, I wouldn't have to deal with that, because it's concrete. Water ain't going through no concrete, okay? Um, but this is just a house. Um, I forgot what the hell I was saying. So, anyways, like, yeah, I don't know what the deal is with the him buying the boat back that he already owned anyway. that they never used and already owned it anyway. He has nothing to pull the boat with. No vehicle suitable to pull the boat with. No trailer hitch that fits it, because it has a weird trailer hitch, and he wasn't smart enough to unscrew the trailer hitch off of the vehicle that he had to pull the boat before he sold it. So, it takes a weird sized trailer hitch anyway. So I think, he's going to try to sell the boat for a profit. Now, if he tries to hand me that money to, I'm carrying a lighter with me just on the off chance that would happen, to try to make it up to me, set that fucking money on fire in front of him. And if he tries to put it out, I'm going to punch him in his fucking face. Because he ain't making up shit. You can't make up 10 years of somebody's life from their 40s to their 50s. You think you're going to make it up with a couple of dollars? I'd bitch slap him in the middle of next week if I was strong enough. And by the way, I owe you a door punching. I had that metal handle that I broke off, but I can't find it nowhere. I know it's in the house here somewhere, but I was going to show you that when I said that I broke a metal handle off a chair the last time I talked to my foster brother. But I owe you a punching of the door. I've been feeling lively lately, and I think I can get away with it. And plus, if it will be a punch with a bad leg and a heart condition, and I will nail that fucker. And so then you can say, I wonder what this dude could do if he was healthy. And but I do owe you a door punching because I said I would do that. And unlike a lot of people, I try to do the things I don't always get to because of my health, but I try to keep my word. I haven't been able to keep my word about a lot of things because of health issues, like finishing my audiobook of Escape from Freedom and a lot of the other things that I wanted to do, but usually it's health issues getting in the way. Um, yeah. Well, we got 41 minutes. Yeah, I can talk forever. So, um, why that is, I don't know. Like I said in another video, it's like I never dreamed that I'd ever be doing anything like this until I started developing a benzo problem. Um, though I think like I made like some sparse videos before then, only because I was goaded into them by this Danish kid. But like I made some videos about CRPS, like I think. But as far as making videos like every few days, like I've been doing, just to talk, I mean, really not me. Really not. I always enjoyed conversation and always fancied that I was halfway decent at it. This is, of course, just a monologue, but uh, I preferred like being active, doing things, fishing, riding bicycles, walking, and then having conversations on the phone sometimes with people. I mean, it takes a whole lot of ego to get on here and just talk for an hour, especially when I don't get that many viewers. I mean, like I said, I don't care. I honestly don't. I do look, to see how many people watch what, and I thought it was interesting. I think it's interesting, like some of the videos that get a lot of views and some that don't get a lot of views. Like you think the one that I made where I was like I think it's called taking the gloves off and all the gory details. You think that one would like have way more views than other videos, but no, that one didn't. And there wasn't a whole lot of and pauses in there either. There was like, because I was just like, this is it. I don't have to stop and say, oh, this, I don't have to edit. I don't have to self edit. I don't have to have all those pauses and throw in all those where I'm trying to think of a way to say something that's internet safe or whatever. But I think I covered just about everything that's fairly new. Um, I don't know, I'll I'll never pander to what people like or what people want. You know, I know they want to see me sitting up, but they want to see me in a shirt. they want to, they don't want to see me like laying down like a slob. But hey, whatever. It's not because I'm a slob. It's because I'm comfortable this way. And CRPS blows. Those are the two reasons. And Yeah. Um, that's all I'm thinking about is getting the fuck out of here. And just like the Bible says, man, shaking the dust of this town off my feet as a testimony against it. You know, moving back to good old evil Canton. This is a different type of evil going on here in Maslin. This reminds me of the David Lynch movie where they show like somebody's lawn and it's all peaceful and serene, but underneath there's a whole bunch of bugs fighting and there's a whole bunch of combat and stuff underneath the surface. It's very heavy symbolism in there for that's the movie with Dennis Hopper where there's some kind of famous scene where he's like got like an oxygen mask in it, or I don't know what the hell it was called, but I remember that scene because it was kind of a cool scene, but it's like couldn't have been more heavy-handed for like things are not always as they appear. Suburbia, all kind of, you know, a nice town like Massillon, Ohio can be dairy mean and full of evil. It's like I want to go back to Canton where the evil just kind of slaps you in the face. I don't want to be in this fucking town where it's like you get ambushed by it. You think it's a nice little town, but really there's this, you know, you got duplicitous landlords who are expert con men. You know, the people that you move in to be around, they don't really like you. They just want to use you. And I thought of this the other day, like a used Kleenex, man. They get all the green out of you, and then they throw you away because they know they ain't getting no more money out of me. That's why I haven't heard from like you know, are you okay? I mean, is there something going on with you? Are you upset about something? You know, it's just they know they're not going to get any more green out of me, so the nose is dry. So yeah, I'm just like a balled up Kleenex. They got all the green out, so I get discarded. Uh, that is a gross but original metaphor, uh, or an illustration. I'm not sure which. It's 1 o'clock in the morning, and I do have two gabapentin in me. Uh, that leg, not my friend tonight, and you just have to be careful because that stuff makes me dizzy. Sometimes the gabapentin stuff makes me dizzy in a way that um, the Valium doesn't. And I found that out the other morning because I set a new record by falling down 3 times before 10 o'clock in the morning. I didn't get hurt that bad. I just banged my elbow. I got a nice couple new bruises there where I banged my elbow on the bathroom door. I knew I whacked that sucker good, man. There was no question I was going to have some bruises from that. But other than that, you know, I just worry about like twisting a limb or bruises don't mean nothing, or scrapes and stuff. I worry about like joint damage, you know, broken things, ligament problems, that kind of thing. You know, little bitty things like that, man. Boink! Who cares? No matter. Don't mean a thing. But yeah, I think the next video I make should be punching that door because I've been putting that off for too long. And that door is fucking looking at me funny right now. You keep looking at me like that. Did I ever tell you my story about like when I accidentally got tricked into going into a gay bar? Yeah, that was an interesting night because Joe Walsh of all people was playing the Palace in Canton, Ohio, which is a tiny venue to see a huge name like Joe Walsh. And tickets were relatively affordable, like $25 or something like that. And we had great seats, and it's like, you know, usually they like show movies in there and stuff. It's like I don't know how many seat venue, but it's just a small, tiny little venue. It's very nice of him to play there. And anyways, before we went there, um, uh, my cousin happens to be a lesbian, tricked me into going into a gay bar. She's like, "Oh, let's get a couple drinks before we go to the concert." I'm like, "Okay." So I'm in a gay bar. I'm realizing like this is a gay bar. It's not a lesbian gay bar. This is like a gay bar with dudes. I've never been in a place like this before. So I'm like, "Oh, this guy's really checking me out hard. Oh shit, he's really checking me out." And like, I said, "Damn it." And like finally I was like, "Well, I gotta look at him." I turn around and look at him, and it's a life-size poster of Dale Earnhardt Jr. So Dale Earnhardt Jr. had a cardboard hard on for me. I'm sorry, I'm mumbling my words, but that was just funny. I'm sitting there like I'm so paranoid that like you know, not that I was I was used to getting hit on, but that's a bad place for me to be at that time in my life is a gay bar because man, I was a sweet piece of candy back then. So there was hardly anybody in there, but there was no question it was a gay bar, and I was you know, she left and just left me in there. She said, "I'll meet you over at such and such place." She just did it as a joke, you know, her being gay herself, just probably to see how I would react to it. And how I would react to it is I'd be like menaced by a cardboard, life-sized thing. And it's like, is Dale Earnhardt Jr. like big in the gay community? I mean, why is it even there? But yeah, it was. I thought I was getting hit on by a cardboard cutout. I was like, this guy's looking at me. Oh, shit, this guy's looking at me. I hope he doesn't come over. I hope he doesn't walk over and try to strike up a con. I think I had already smoked the joint too, man. I think I smoked the joint, and she said you can come in here and you can get yourself you like Jack and Cokes, get a couple Jack and Cokes, man. Get ready for the concert or whatever. And I think that's what it was. Um, but yeah, that was a long time ago. Like I said, that's when I had the long hair and was the sweet piece of candy. And uh, oh, shit was funny, man. Um, I felt like such an idiot. I felt like a damn idiot. But it's one of the times where you're an idiot. And you're the only one that knows you're being an idiot. So it was all right. And it's like I drank, and I was like, you knew what this place was. Why didn't you just walk out like right away? Like, why did you even stay in here? And I was like, it's just the pot. It's just the weed I was smoking. I guess I don't know. But anyways, so we saw Joe Walsh at the Palace, and I remember he walked out. And he had like a pirate costume on, and I swear to God, and he had like a pillow in his shirt to make him look like he had a fat belly. He had a patch on one eye, and it wasn't like a costume. I think I only remember as the patch, a hat, and the belly. But he came out and he told an old joke. That's how he opened his act. He told the old joke about how you know how'd you get the hook on your hand? Ah, man, a mako shark bit that off. Well, what happened to your eye? He said, "Oh, one day I was looking up and a bird shit my eye and I forgot." You know, so some I'm not sure how the joke goes. It was basically that, and that's how he started out his concert. And anyways, that's a whole lot of who shot John. That's a whole lot of like nonsense. Um, just added on there for my own personal amusement. Uh, but yeah, again, a lot of memories tied up with that dude, foster brother. A lot of memories tied up. It is difficult when you know you you reach a certain age and you just lose someone like that. That's a huge part of your childhood. And like when I had the issues with my father, it's like that tainted my whole childhood there in that way. And then you know, yeah, it's why I just wanted to protect other people from having that experience where it's like, okay, it just I think that's why a lot of people like my brother, like he just smokes. My older brother just smokes weed now, but he was a heavy alcoholic. But I think he's said that we had good parents. And I'm like, you think our father was a good parent, huh? And then you know, if the definition is keeping your kids fed, I guess he never taught me much anything about except for me, how to be afraid. He never taught me how to fight, which I thought was weird because he was really good at that. My older brother taught me how to fight, but yeah, the guy I'm talking about that has like a distorted view of his childhood. And then like my foster brother actually said that he had a fun childhood, and his mother was thrown in jail for 7 years, and he was abandoned and forced into a foster child situation. And before then, she was an alcoholic who starved him and left him with crazy people, to where you could see the whole stack of his ribs. And like said, they used to call him the refugee. So, man, I mean, yeah, definitely no coherence to this. You know, um, a lot of the stuff I do is repeats, and it probably gets pretty old hearing the repeats, but um, they're in different contexts, hopefully. Uh, but yeah, that's something that I don't know if you ever thought about before. It's like having your childhood memories messed with, having that, you know, like losing that. My childhood was difficult enough, you know. I mean, I was home when my brother committed suicide when I was young. I mean, when I in 1977, I was born in '67, so I was 9 years old, and I lived in fear of my father, and my mother was not a happy person. Not going into all the reasons why I'm mad, and you know, to have even it made even worse, by my only happy memories being associated with this foster brother guy. My only truly happy moments as a child, most of them have to do with him. And to have him turn into a shitbag like he has, and it just taints everything. And part of that is, like I said in other videos, I did hold on to illusions about him, but he wasn't that bad. Like he just got progressively worse and worse and worse. I mean, we used to go fishing together and still have fun together and do things together, before I moved to this city. Um, I don't know. He was there for me through some dark periods in my life where like I was like I was pretty fucked up in my 20s from the surgeries and having CRPS and stuff. So he'd come out and visit me. I did. There was like I don't know how long where I didn't even have a phone. I just like was if I wanted to make a call, I used the payphone. They had these things called payphones. I used the payphone if I needed to make a call. If anybody needed to get a hold of me, they used the U.S. mail or they did the pop in. So he would pop in and he'd bring a couple of movies, sometimes and watch a movie with me, or you know, I don't know how often that occurred or how often he tried to keep in touch there. I'd have to think about it for a while. But like I said, man, to have your childhood fucked with like that, and to have your memories like messed with by your dad and then your sister, because like that, I had a long history with my older sister of supporting her through some very difficult stuff and looking out for her kids, which I don't talk about to her kids, but I was looking out for her kids. Um, you know, Having that messed with, I had like that's from three different tiers. You know, the three different foundations of your childhood just crumbling. You know, and it it ruins it because when you remember something good from your childhood, then you remember the bad thing. It's like I it's a bad maybe it's a bad comparison, but it's like I had a cat. It was a cool cat, but I let it die horribly through neglect, and I either didn't have the money to spend on a vet or didn't want to spend on a vet, but it died really badly, and so I can't think of any of the good memories of that cat without thinking of the bad things. The way I now cannot think of any of the good memories of my childhood without thinking of the bad things with my foster brother. So I suppose a sane and rational person would make every attempt for their own sanity to find some kind of peace and make up with the dude, but I mean, it's just too late. It's just too late. It's too much. It's too. It's getting screwed over too many times. It's just too late. I mean, so even if he like sold that boat and tried to give me the money, which I cannot even picture that. I don't remember money leaving his hands. He would buy me like presents, like shirts on Christmas and stuff like that. But actual green pieces of paper leaving his hands and coming into mine, I'm drawing a blank. So I don't see that happening. But if he like sold that boat and like tried to give me $500 or $600, I would pull a lighter out of my pocket and set the shit on fire. Like I said, I'm not even kidding. And I was like, this is what I think of this gesture. And if he tried to put the money, if he reached forward or tried to stop me or whatever, I'd punch him right in his fucking face. And that is a mortal certainty. That is as certain as me answering the door with a hatchet if that guy knocks on the door, as I said earlier in this video. And that is about an hour even, and that's enough. And next video I make will be of me punching that door, because that door has been pissing me off lately. And it needs a good punching. And if I don't get a good solid punch off, I got all kind of excuses, but I bet you I can hit that sucker pretty hard. And it's a low impact kind of workout. And there is a gigantic fly or some sort of beastie. I don't know what that was, crawling across that door as I was speaking of it. So, yeah, that's what my next video will be. Will be just punching the door. I'll see if I can find the broken metal handle too and show that to you. So, yeah, I used to be prodigiously strong, but upper body wise, but those days have passed. But I still have um, lingering vestiges of the brute that I once was. But yeah, that door's days are fucking numbered. I'm telling you, goddamn fucking door.